guys, I know it is Valentine's Day month and everyone's going to be talking about love and specialness and all the couples that they enjoy, and I will talk about that eventually. But today, instead of talking about love and happiness, I want to talk about some stuff that I actually just fucking hate. And so today I want to talk about 6 couples, 6 ships that I just fucking can't stand at all. And just a disclaimer, I don't hate the people that like them, I just hate them. Just 6, but there are many more if we want to expand this. So the first couple that would be on my list is Spuffy. Spike and Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which, spoilers for those who have not seen the series, my boyfriend's on this side. He has not seen Buffy, so I'm about to ruin something for him, but that's okay, he'll like it regardless. So I got into Buffy later in life because I saw the episode Hush when I was younger and it scared the fuck out of me, and so I could not watch it until college. I just bought the whole box set on Amazon, and I knew about 3 things about Buffy. I knew that Willow was a lesbian witch, I knew that she dated Angel, and I knew that she dated Spike. I actually saw the last season of Angel before it got canceled or not renewed, whatever the fuck that situation was. And I liked those characters, so I was interested to see how it was all going to come together. So imagine my surprise when I finally followed the whole Spike and Buffy journey, and they're complete assholes to each other. Buffy uses Spike for sex. Spike is pretty much a dick and a terrible person for a lot of the series. I mean, he's entertaining and he goes through a really interesting character growth, but he's a complete dickhole. And then in episode Seeing Red of season 6, Spike tries to rape Buffy after she's been attacked and can barely fight him off, and the only reason he stops is because she stops him. And yes, I know the situation was that he had that chip, and eventually he goes out to find a soul and kind of seek redemption for his actions, but it still never made it something that I could enjoy afterwards. I just could never enjoy Spike and Buffy after that fact. I realized that Bangle has its own problematic nature about, you know, Buffy being younger than him and all those kind of other issues, but at the same time I feel like Angel and Buffy had a lot of extraneous forces that made their relationship more complicated, whereas Buffy and Spike never seemed to really care about each other in that really deep way until season 7. And season 7 was terrible, and Buffy just made a lot of poor decisions, and one of them, in my opinion, was deciding that she loves Spike. Number 5. Delena. Delena is probably the modern day Spuffy. It has all the same elements: toxic relationship, really bad for the character development of the female character, and just really doesn't do anything to improve upon anyone involved. I mean, from the very beginning, Elena and Damon just never clicked for me. Like, I got the bad boy appeal, I understood why people were going to want her to be with Damon, but to me, despite Stefan's Ripper past, he was the person who seemed most in sync with what Elena valued and cared for as a person. Damon never seemed to be on that level. He was always so jilted, always so guarded, so pragmatic in a way that Elena was not. And as Damon in the first 2 seasons kept doing worse and worse things to Elena, I just kind of felt like the Elena that we're supposed to root for, the Elena that's idealized, that's supposed to be a caring, loving, nurturing person, would not want to be with Damon Salvatore. And when she became a vampire and that whole thing, I stopped watching the show. But it just never really clicked to me that Elena would love Damon, because Damon just hurt the people that she loved too much. And one of the things about Elena that everyone says, she's so empathetic, she just cares so goddamn much, which I never believed to be true anyway, because Elena is not a caring, sympathetic person, but she's supposed to be. And if she's supposed to be this kind, sympathetic, caring person, she wouldn't be in love with someone who tried to kill her brother and raped her friend. Now you may ask, but Melina, you shit Bayman. Bayman is not the same, because Bayman is not about Elena making... Bayman is not about Bonnie making Damon good. Bayman is about enjoying the complex relationship between those 2 people as they hate each other and learning to understand how they work together. And this happened throughout seasons. I mean, it's 7 seasons and now we finally get a real Bayman friendship. Elena and Damon have been hinted at since season 1. That's a complete difference in how those characters are supposed to be. Elena, as who she was supposed to be, should not have been interested in Damon Salvatore the way that she was and thirsting after him for years and years while she's dating his brother, and supposed to be this pure, good-hearted goody-goody. It just did not work out, and Damon's just an asshole as well. Like, I enjoy him by himself in season 1, but as his character progresses, his dependence on Delena for happiness is just unhealthy. It's just another one of those unhealthy, toxic ships that just, it's better off gone. And really, I hope Nina Dobrev is going out to do better things in the Vampire Diaries, because that ship has long sailed for me. Number 4 is Olivia and Fitz from Scandal, also known as Olitz. And Olitz is the fucking worst. I hate it. And I feel like I understand the need for some black women to co-sign Fitz and Olivia. It's an interracial relationship. It puts Olivia as a medium-toned black woman as you know, the romantic interest of like the white woman. So I get the racial politics that makes it attractive to some people. But the reality is that Fitz completely patronizes, throws his power around Olivia. He belittles her opinions. He's terrible to his own wife and his own children, but always wants to maintain the high morale. He's a manipulative douchebag, and everything about their relationship undermines how strong, how smart Elena is supposed to be. How powerful and smart Olivia is supposed to be. Olivia's supposed to be so powerful and so in control, but she just cannot function around this white dick, and it confounds me because I'm like, girl, you have so many dick options in this world, and you're stuck on this man who has a wife and 3 children and so much baggage emotionally, politically. Why does she, a successful, smart black woman, want to be involved in that kind of shit? Like, why is he worth so much to her? I don't get it. I mean, yes, I'm sure the dick is bomb, but girl, like, you could find more bomb dick. It is out there, and it is plentiful. There's no reason for you to be obsessed with this goddamn man, and it upsets me because I hate seeing people wanting to break down Millie and use her rape and all of her other issues that are personal as a way of being like, this bitch, this is why she in the way of Olitz and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not how you should not use misogyny to tear down Millie to uplift Olivia when the problem is Fitz. Like, he's the problem, not Olivia, not Millie, it's him. Because he's never man enough to leave his wife until the very last second. He's never man enough to make those decisions. He's always trying to have everything that he wants and being mad at everybody else for not playing his game. And you know what? He can go fuck himself. Like, honestly, my major problem with Olitz is Fitz, because he's just a ginormous dickhole. And honestly, because of him being so terrible, it has ruined Tarzan for me, because the actor who plays Fitz is the voice of Tarzan, and I really like Tarzan. And so I'm very mad that I can't enjoy it anymore, because every time I look at Tarzan, all I can see is this fucking eyebrowless, middle-aged man taking advantage of Olivia and her emotions. So number 3 is Rumbelle. I have talked about Rumpelstiltskin and Belle before in another video, so I'll link to that, and this will be kind of brief because of it. I hate them because Rumpelstiltskin is a manipulative, misogynistic douchebag who does not know how to respect his wife. He can't respect any of his wives because he got one killed, got one of his lovers killed, and Belle needs to be careful. I also hate how they use Belle's character and manipulate her to somehow be in love with him, even though he's abusive towards her. He has lied to her at almost every single turn, broken every single promise he has ever given to her, and yet she is still there licking his wounds, pretending that he's giving her what she wants when he's not. I don't understand how after 4.5 seasons, 5 seasons, whatever how many seasons this show has gone on for, because it's been too many, that Belle has allowed herself to be under the thrall of this pathetic man. He's pathetic and does not deserve her at all. Number 2, Ron and Hermione. And no, I do not ship Hermione and Harry either. I just hate Ron and Hermione. But it's funny because as I was working on this video, an interview came out with Rupert Grint, which I'll link to below, where he said that he probably thinks that Ron and Hermione got like separated, which I totally agree with. And J.K. Rowling has said recently that she thinks that they probably would not have lasted, or she probably would not have put them together now if she was writing the book series. And to me, the problem with Ron and Hermione has always been, besides the fact that Ron's kind of a dick, is that Hermione was just above the 2 boys on so many levels. Like, they just weren't on her level, you know what I mean? She was smart and doing her own thing. Yes, she was kind of annoying at times, but she's the most brilliant witch of her age, and she's got these 2 scrubs following her around, and she's taking care of them, making sure they can eat and survive and can do magic that they can't even fucking conceptualize. But she's paired up with a guy who's rude to her, who doesn't even really acknowledge her until he gets jealous seeing her with Victor Crumb, who I personally think she should have ran off with anyway. Or she should just Lois should be getting laid wherever she wants because she's a mighty fucking Granger. But she should have just been off with somebody else. And on top of that, Ron has so many insecurities of being the last brother of the bunch, of not being good enough. I mean, though, how insecure he is about being Harry's friend, I can't imagine him being secure and being married to a woman who people will always say is so much smarter than him. He's never been comfortable in his own skin, never been comfortable with his own self, that I can't see him being comfortable being with someone who's that brilliant and possibly that successful while he's not. Because he's always kind of like the add-on, the best friend of, the husband of, and I just don't feel like that's a healthy relationship for either of them. I just don't see that them working in a long-term relationship, and so it just kind of felt like, okay, I get it, they're gonna be together because he's picking on her, that means they're gonna fall in love, duh, but it just never felt genuine. And every time I read the books, I'm just kind of like, run away, girl, run away, be free. So yeah, if I was gonna put Ron with anyone, I'd say Ron and Harry would be the better couple, because as we've established in Goblet of Fire, don't look at me like that. He's looking at me like, what are you talking about? Listen, in the Goblet of Fire, Ron was the thing that Harry was afraid to lose the most, okay? Not Ginny, okay? It was Ron. Hermione was their side chick. But, alright, so those are 5 of the 6. There are many, many more. I almost put Usagi and Seiya on this list just because I felt like I should have at least one anime couple on here. But I figured I'm going to probably do more of these because these were kind of mild compared to how I thought it was going to be. Like, I was going to be like, oh my god, I hate these. But, like, for the most part, my hate is almost like, these guys just suck together. And I think my number 1 pick is kind of one of those they just suck together ones. Because it's kind of a cheat. Because it's Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and Wonder Woman, because I hate both of those so strongly. Because in my opinion, 1, I love Clark and Lois, and I love Bruce with either Talia or Selena. Don't really like them with other people in general. But number 2 is that I feel like Wonder Woman is kind of it's kind of just put with them, and it's not really thought about how she would fit with these people. Because Wonder Woman is the more pragmatic, militaristic person of the big 3. The other 2 have the whole no killing rule. Wonder Woman don't got that. They all have these other moral dilemmas and complexities that Wonder Woman just does not subscribe to, you know? She doesn't have a childhood trauma. She's not the last of her race. She's a warrior. She's centered. She doesn't have the baggage that Batman has. Nor she had the unrivaled optimism and hope symbolism that Superman has. She is her own thing. She's still a good person. She still has this good heart and this good soul, and she has this need to do good and do the right thing, but she's also Machiavellian. She understands how that I'm gonna kill this person because they're gonna come back and try to kill more people. Why should I spare their lives? That mentality separates her so strongly from Superman and Batman that the idea of them being a couple is kind of ridiculous. Like, there's no way for them to go over that issue, because Batman has so many issues with Selena being a thief. I can't imagine him wanting to be with someone who has no problem killing a bad guy if that's how the situation may come. With Wonder Woman, it's like, you know, Steve Trevor's kind of her usual match. And I feel like, while I don't like that couple specifically, at least it's her own thing. To me, it's like forcing them to be in each other's world. And I think that for Wonder Woman, because it's so hard for writers to write with her, it's easier for them to integrate her into other people's storylines. I don't want her to be Batman or Superman's girlfriend because it's easier to put her in there than to give her own story. And I also don't want it to be that she's with them because they're more of a man for her. Because, 1, please, okay? Like, Big Barda got a little man too, and she don't got no issues with that, okay? Let her have Steve Trevor if you're going to put her with a guy. But most of all, I think that Diana is bi and could be with a woman. Anyway, but I dislike the idea that, like, she needs to have a man who can handle that, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, no, she's fine. She really don't need you. And I also hated in Justice League Unlimited, when I went to the reunion tour, they talked about, like, a lot of people like Wonder Woman and Batman. I was like, not me. Not me. Don't like it at all. Don't ever want it in my life. Like, I don't like it with Batman and Wonder Woman, because it just seems so unnatural. Like, if you watch those episodes where Batman and Wonder Woman are a couple, it just makes Wonder Woman one of the typical girls that follows Bruce around in the animated universe. It's not really about her and him. More that, like, she's a hot girl, Bruce is the bad boy, and Superman's got Lois. So clearly not going to be together. It's forcing them into these molds that don't really fit them. I always felt that Wonder Woman got the kind of the weakest stories of the main group. So it's just frustrating for me to see her being regaled as just the super girlfriend for the superheroes. But that is all I have for right now. Those are 6 ships that I fucking cannot stand. I know I didn't curse as much as I thought I would, except for Olitz, because Olitz is the fucking worst. But I think for me, like, my whole thing is this. I don't mind dark relationships, the darker, more uncomfortable couplings that can happen in fandom. I think those are fun. Those are great to write about, in fanfiction to read about. They're interesting. But you have to know they're fucked up. You cannot have this, like, layer of, like, well, you know, it, like for example, I like San. I know I'm a feminist. I'm not supposed to like San, but I do. And one of the things that I've had to learn how to do as a shipper of a problematic ship is to be like, yes, Sandor Clegane was very sexually aggressive and very inappropriate and not really a good person for Sansa. Not at all. The way that they were in the relationship. For me, them being together is interesting for a lot of other reasons besides sex. I would not want them to be sexually together right now, especially after everything that's happened in the TV show. But I do like their relationship. I like how their characters grow together. Like, a lot of times these darker ships are so interesting because of how the characters meld, not always sexually. So I get the attraction, but I know it's fucked up. I don't try to pretend that it's not. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, you know, he never really actually raped her, so it's totally okay that they'd be together. Like, still, he should not have been all up in her room and all up on her face and all up on her body because she's 13. Like, you can't be like, oh, you know, back in that time it was okay to get married to like 12-year-olds. So it's like, what, okay, whatever. Like, no. We cannot make excuses for these things. And that's my problem with like Delena and Spuffy and Olitz and Rumbelle. Like, but they love each other and they want to be together and what does it matter? Like, because they're awful. Because they're awful. You cannot lie to your wife about every fucking thing and be like, well, I'll change this time, and then you don't change it, and she's like, but how can you do this to me? Girl, he done it 16 times. Why are you still surprised? Why are you still like, I can't believe that Rumbelle lied to me about giving up his magic? I mean, who could have guessed he would do such a thing? I don't know, every fucking body, like, and I will just say this for the record, because the other thing I'm just shitting on Rumbelle, all the Once Upon a Time ships are terrible. All the straight ones, the worst. Charming and Snow. Boring as all fucking toast. You know, Captain Swan, boring as fuck. Outlaw Queen, like, I can't even put into words how boring that ship is. This is like, just thinking about it. Like, and I thought I was gonna be okay with things. Like, Regina's gonna have love, and I love Regina, whatever. I'm over it. I'm like, he needs to just go away. Robin Hood is so boring. All the straight ships, like, do better straight people. Make better straight ships on Once Upon a Time, because this is ridiculous. And I just feel so salty that we have no queer ships on Once Upon a Time, but we have all these super, super, super basic straight couples. But anyway, I have many more. But next week, I will talk about all of my favorite ships. Well, not all. I'll just narrow it down. Let me know if you would prefer 13 or 10. So thank you so much for watching, and in addition to this, please like, thumbs up, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And in addition to this Valentine's Day content, I know I'm doing a lot of hand motions right now, my Brooklyn side is coming out. I'm also doing a bunch of Black History Month videos. The first one came up on Friday, so just let me know what you think of them, and I'm so happy that you guys are watching.